Good morning, hikers. So we are just about to hike out of Aroona Ruins campsite in the Flinders Ranges. It's freezing here this morning. I didn't sort of do a wrap up of the day yesterday because we ate dinner as soon as we got into camp at ridiculous o'clock, like 4:30, 5 p.m. And morning, Mark. And then it started to rain, so we went to bed like at 5:30 p.m. and were asleep not long afterwards. So I woke up very early this morning, but still very well rested. And it had stopped raining overnight, but it was so cold. Our very dodgy thermometer said 4 degrees this morning, but I actually think overnight it was quite a bit cooler than that. So we have packed up a filthy, dirty and wet tent and got ourselves filthy, dirty and wet and freezing cold. And we're just about to hit the trail. We wanted to go winter hiking and we're having winter hiking. It is, wet and cold and dirty, but we're still having a fabulous time because look at what is behind us. Just the most amazing scene to wake up to in the morning. It's a really beautiful place. We are hiking to Yanyanna Hut tonight, which is about 25-kilometre hike. Probably more for us because we'll fiddle-fart around like we always do. And then tomorrow we hike into Wilpena Pound. So we'll try and get some footage along the way today. Hopefully it warms up soon. So we're at the end of day 2, well, almost the end of day 2 of our Flinders Ranges Heysen Trail walk, and we're just coming into Yanyanna Hut. I think it's a little bit less than a kilometre now, and it's been a pretty tough day actually. It kicked my ass a bit, which I was surprised by. And this afternoon sort of not as beautiful as this morning and all of yesterday, but the sun is just it's starting to come down now, and the light is just touching every leaf of every tree and the tips of the mountains, and it's really just beautiful. You know, it's a bit of a double-edged sword to be walking into camp at sunset knowing that we're probably going to have to do some of our camp setup in the dark, and most definitely cook and eat in the dark. But that's winter hiking for you. It has its pros and cons, and I have to say that walking at this time of day coming into camp in the Flinders Ranges is pretty much the most beautiful hiking experience you can have. Hey there, hikers. We're in bed. It is about 6:45.
Something like that.
And we are at Yanyanna Hut, which is fine. Like, it's a really lovely spot. I certainly wouldn't want to sleep in the hut unless it was a dire situation of terrible weather. There is a food storage container in there for rodent protection, but it's also not functional. It's a really great sort of multi-function camping platform is what it calls itself. You couldn't pitch a tent on it unless you were a little person and had a very little tent. But it was really great for sitting on, and there's a campfire sort of set up nearby, and a lovely tree that we have pitched our tent under, which unfortunately has a large amount of toilet paper behind it because people are pigs and don't pack out their own toilet paper and leave no trace. There was also a whole lot of partially burnt TP in the defunct campfire, which is quite delightful. Anyway, I guess that's what you have to expect, unfortunately, when you are hiking where a whole lot of other human beings hike. But how did you find today, honey?
Had an absolute ball, and got through it all without my planter sort of playing up, which was really nice. So it felt a lot easier than yesterday because I wasn't sort of in pain towards the end of the day, and
no blisters?
No blisters. We had
Huzzah!
time to sort of have some nice stops. So we had a nice morning tea on top of the mountain, didn't we? Well, I don't know if it was a mountain, but anyway,
it was most beautiful views.
Spectacular views, and yeah, it was a very good day's hiking. No sort of boring sections, and yeah.
Yeah, it was lovely. We had lunch at Trezona campsite, and then there's another water hut after that. So there's heaps of huts along the way and campsites and lots of water sources, despite which we carried our fears and carried too much water with us unnecessarily because we know what it's like to run out of water on the trail, and it's pretty shit.
Yep.
So we are just going to hopefully have a bit of a stretch now and a bit of a massage. We have our Rology cork ball, which is an absolute godsend, and then we're going to hit the sack. We had Plantitude vegan chili mac and cheese for dinner with dehydrated Coles peas and couscous, and it was delicious actually and really filling. So yeah, really tired. Can't wait to get a good night's sleep. And tomorrow we're hiking into Wilpena Pound, which means that at this time tomorrow night we will be nursing a beer, which we're very much looking forward to.
And maybe some chips.
Today ended up being about 28 kilometres, and tomorrow, if gut hook is correct and our maps are correct and things are correct, which, may I just say, they never are, will be about between 23 and 24 kilometres into Wilpena Pound. So looking forward to it.